30 during this from March until today. So good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for the self-introductions. Now we will move into the approval of our minutes from November 18th. That was our last meeting. The old minutes were in our packet. So if you had a chance to review it, at this time, we will receive a motion on to accept those minutes unless there is some corrections that need to be made.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay,
A
do we have a
second.
second?
Second.
Okay. All right, all in favor of accepting or approving the minutes from November 18th, 2020, all raise their hands. Okay, any nays? Okay, the hands have it. We have approved our minutes for November 18th, 2020. And now we'll move on to the Workforce Development website. At this time, we want to make sure that everyone understands that our website is an excellent resource to us. We need to, any organization that has any opportunities, be it opportunities because of growth or opportunities due to replacement, use our resources in order to get that information out to our community. Also, just if there's any ideas that you need or suggestions that you need in order to kind of recruit the kind of staff that you want for the opportunities that you have, just make sure that you reach out to us so that we can get creative with you. I do know for Merit Medical right now, we're looking for 53 people to start like yesterday, because our product lines have just shot out, to where we're having to get more catheters out the door. So I know that I will be partnering with the web to get get that information on the website so that we get it out to our community. But then let's get creative together so that we can get more ideas from one another in order to get these opportunities filled. Does anyone have any questions or need any assistance at this time in getting those resources over on the website or that information onto the website?
Let me unmute. So actually, I have a client that's in League City that I'm looking for engineer, a mechanic, a heavy truck mechanic, and now possibly another field operations guy. But the question I have for the committee here is just to see if you've experienced this, but I have tried reaching out to the Workforce Solutions here in Pearland, and I can never get through. It goes straight to voicemail. And to be honest, I don't get any calls back. So does anyone know what's going on with the office here locally? Is there anyone that's even staffing it, or are they just shut down totally, or do you know?
A lot of them are remote.
I
And
have
and their
seen cars.
backlog is really bad.
Yeah.
But I've seen cars at their place of business over here on 518, but I haven't stopped to go in. But it just seems like Ronnie has disappeared from my life. I don't
know.
The last I heard last week was that they're not taking walk-ins still. And anybody that's in the building, they're kind of working there, but then they're not seeing any, what the clients is what they call their flow. So they're not doing the walk-ins. And my best communication that I've had has been via email, but even that is lagging.
Yeah, because I did email Ronnie a couple of times last year when I was looking for some positions back then and didn't get any reply either. So anyway, I was just curious if everyone else is experiencing the same things. And I know they're swamped, and I know the Workforce Commission is swamped. And so I just didn't know if everyone else is having that same experience.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Backlog.
I reached out to Ronnie earlier because San Jacinto College, the HR department called me and said, "Why did you file a unemployment form?" And I said, "I didn't." Well, obviously somebody did. So I tried to reach, I said, "Well, how do I do this?" They said, "Well, you need to go to the workforce." Oh, great. So I went to the workforce for 10 years. Then I found Ronnie's email. I sent Ronnie email. Ronnie couldn't help me. And then we went into the computer voicemail from hell. And so I'm sorry, they're really not helping anybody right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I do know from my experience with them, I have had contact with Workforce Solutions in the Houston area because we're part of their on-the-job training program. But what I will do, I'll reach out to my contact and I'll get more information. I do know as of last November, they were still working remote and that they were not accepting walk-ins, like it's been stated before by Samantha. So I'll reach out to my contact and I'll get more of an update on what's going on with Pearland, and I'll let you guys know.
That'd be great.
Okay. All right, so do we have any volunteers for presentations for the month of February, March, April, May, and June?
I just wanted to let you know that Sam Navarro with Gartner Coatings was to give the program in December. And they had some kind of audit come up and he couldn't. And then for yesterday, he called and said, or for today, he called yesterday and said that he was home with COVID. So that's why I struggle. I tried to get some healthcare people to give an update, but it was just too quick turnaround. So we decided to do this roundtable that's about to come up. But we need, especially industries, to present their on-site, what do we call them? Presentations, virtual tours. Paul, I'd like for Third Coast to do yours again because we didn't get to do it. What I've done is I record them and then I send them to all the target industries and to our chamber members. So that way businesses that are, you can't go on site, it's a good way to let the community know what you do.
Oh, you could tell everybody about your
Sure.
new reactor.
Yes, that too.
That is correct. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
Hey, Siobhan, this is Brian Malone. Pearland EDC is working on some stuff regarding workforce, and this would be in concert with the chamber, obviously, in looking at, how do we go about doing that. We probably would want to do a program. It's either going to be in either April or May. I don't have the exact date yet. We're working on some timelines, trying to get some information all pulled together, but we would probably like to be one of those, as I said, either in April or May.
Okay, I will put you down tentatively until you let us know.
What would it be entitled? Pearland Economic Development Corporation or something else? I'll just put down PEDC and then we'll stay in touch.
We'll get you, it's gonna be all workforce related, so.
Okay, good.
Okay. Well, if any of you or any of your organizations change your mind, please let us know. We would love to put you on the calendar so that we can have presentations of your organization. I know for me, I plan to push Merit. Before they did not want to do it because a lot of our, the details, as soon as you walk in the door, you see the details of what we do. And a lot of that is trademarked and they really don't like to do videos like that, but I'm going to get creative with them and figure it out. So I'm gonna try to get Merit on the calendar as well.
Or I'd suggest too, if anyone out, any of you know of any industries or businesses that you'd like to see, we could reach out to them to see if they'd be willing to make a presentation.
And we're going to have one coming from San Jack on workforce development. So all the services that we offer to businesses. So that's something that we're going to, we'll do a presentation on that. I'll get with our team and we'll try to figure out when's a good time and then we'll let you know, but definitely have that down as an option, as a presentation.
One of the subjects we talked about was when Kevin, you talked about having, I guess, further education for employees to enhance their skills. And you were going to come up with, you have a deer in the headlight look. Is that something you don't remember?
Refresh my memory because as I get older, my memory gets
how
short.
we can help employers help their employees enhance their skills.
Right. We have a CPD or what typically has been called community education. We call it
Okay.
continuing professional development, but we can do a lot of different type of trainings in a shorter period of time, like many of the colleges, but we also can link college credit courses where to basically CPD courses, just so companies or individuals can try out certain parts of a degree or a course that they might see beneficial in helping them in their program or in their job or promotion and things like that. And ideally, I was thinking more in the business areas with accounting courses or business management courses or leadership courses, but we can do it in a variety of areas. And you know, a lot of people get scared, at least going to a college and saying, well, I really, you know, I already have a degree, I already been to college. I don't want to have to go through all the application process. And the CPD area of many colleges, I think, are not well known about communities and all the different areas that they offer to enhance life, enhance learning, and a lot of things like that, that I think would be beneficial to get that information out there, because sometimes you don't need, you may just need some, a course or two to
Yeah.
get a certain skill that makes you more beneficial to the company or the industry that you're in.
Any of the education organizations, I think if you have that to offer, I'd like to get that out to our target industries and have it on our website, because my staff here always needs some kind of training. So I think that would be beneficial for us to have some kind of flyer or brochure or booklet.
And I'll talk with our group,
Okay.
as well as it'd be good for other colleges too, to do that. And maybe we can put something out there to at least provoke thought with our community members to have that as an alternative.
Okay, that would be great. Same with ACC and HCC and the university. I think it would be really good to have the community opportunities.
I'm thinking also it'd probably be a good time somewhere in those dates that I see, they probably get some type of legislative update, outlook, kind of what's going on in Austin, as that ramps up as we speak.
There was a photo of the gallery in the newspaper yesterday, how they're social distancing attendees.
Okay. So for today's program, what we plan to do, we're going to have a roundtable of our workforce development team, just talking about COVID-related reports, or what are some issues or challenges that you're currently experiencing. Also, how's your business going? How's hiring going? Do you have any critical openings? Just anything that you would like to share currently of what's going on in your industry or in education, or how you guys are pivoting the pandemic to move forward in business. And then what are some things that you're looking forward to doing different in 2021 to have continued success? So who would like to start the conversation or the roundtable?
I could start it off. I'll talk about it from at least San Jacinto College or an educational perspective. And we just welcomed back students yesterday. And we've had students on campus really since the end of May. And we are continuing exactly what we did in the fall. We've increased the amount of on-campus classes or face-to-face classes that we have this semester. A significant amount of those also coming back on campus, along with what we might call our traditional lab type courses or technical education type courses. And it's really just getting everything back up to speed, get both faculty, staff, and students comfortable again. We still run some very strict protocols. I think we're up to almost 270,000 visits since June, and we have one transmitted case that can be traced back to the college. And I think that was possibly in our police department, where there's a little bit closer quarters. But We're very proud of those results and continue to abide by them. And we think that's we provide, a safe, like most companies, it's a very safe place to work and learn and provide that environment, and hope to kind of get as many students back on campus as we can, as soon as we can, in a safe manner. I think online learning, as most everybody is either seen in the news or heard, or actually taken part with their kids in their house. Online learning is a very difficult way to learn in many ways for many people. So hopefully the vaccine rollout will move a little quicker, and we can kind of get back, at least on education, get more people back on campus to provide support services that we provide them with, and take a little bit less of the virtual part that we have. But our enrollment, for the most part, looks really good. I don't want to say we're totally surprised with it, but we're very happy with it, based on the environment that we find ourselves in. So again, it's just really staying the course on being very, very diligent about safety protocols at all times and everything we do. And that's kind of an update on it, at least from San Jacinto College. And that's kind of a district-wide comment.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to go next?
I'll go. Well, for us, we are seeing business is good. So we are seeing a lot more on the, I want to call it industrial assembly, those types of positions in various areas across multiple branches. But again, and particularly in our Pearland area, we are seeing industrial starting to pick up a lot more. Although the unemployment rate is very high, the employable is not readily wanting to go back to work. And we're seeing a mix of parents that are home with their kids, or you make more money with your stimulus and unemployment, unfortunately. And so we're seeing, we're getting creative with that. We are reaching out to community partners. We're doing a lot of virtual screening of people prior to sending them out. We're doing a lot of our interview prepping virtually to prepare them, because a lot of even our industrial clients are wanting to do virtual interviews. So we've been doing a lot of prep work with our candidates to teach them how to video interview, to make it still to have that personable connection, because it can be difficult. Mm-hmm. So we're just doing a lot of outreach that way, a lot more walking through things with people. And from everything, we're seeing a lot of people just disappearing because there are so many positions that are now opening up. I think that is giving people the confidence to just disappear and go somewhere better sometimes. And I'm not talking just like light industrial. We're talking C-level executives that just kind of poof, one day they're just not showing up for an interview, or they just kind of it's definitely, it's interesting. I guess that's the best way to put it. So we're just taking each situation and just kind of adapting and rolling with it, because as we've all learned, like in 2020, it was definitely an interesting year to kind of adapt. And I feel like we're going to have a lot more adapting that we're going to have to do in 2021, as the fear is still, there's still a fear there, because as Paul's home right now because of it, because of what's going on. So, and everybody's fear levels are different. So we are really trying to accommodate those fear levels and address them individually with the people that we are placing, as well as our clients. So we're just adaptation, flexibility. That's our 2021 that's our word, is flexibility.
Okay, thank you, Samantha. Who would like to go next?
I kind of have, I'm just brainstorming. And of course, behind this, I would have to get approval from our chief of staff and Representative Thompson. but I'm getting inundated with phone calls for unemployment, people needing assistance with unemployment claims. And of course, I'm pushing them through and we're getting them the help that they need. But I'm wondering if there's a way to develop a system that would allow me to do like a mini interview of some sort while I'm on the phone with these people to see if there's a possibility of placing them with any of the companies that are on here. I don't know if I'm going to be crossing any legalities with doing that. Like I said, I would have to talk to my chief of staff, but I think that might be a good way to help minimize those that are on unemployment and possibly fill some great roles that you guys have available. Just a suggestion.
I don't know if that's a path you really want to take, Brandy. That might create, I mean, you and Ed, I mean, Representative Thompson have everything going on, the sessions going on. And I think that's a bed of thorns you don't want to get into.
I think you might be right. I'm just brainstorming, you know, not that I would be taking on that role, but maybe just helping of some sort. I guess I would have to talk to him, you know, and Molly, but I don't want to get in over my head with anything like you said, Gary, but.
Well, you know, it's like what Siobhan said, what I have clients that are calling me looking for individuals like this, of which I reached out to Kevin and Dr. O, and just like you need 30 something people. I mean, we need people. And so how can we find them? Okay, the chamber's website, maybe the chamber and the maybe this committee or possibly even, I don't know, maybe we start scrolling it on the marquee, you know, out front, but we need to get the businesses together with those individuals that we have contact with our students, with our, you know, with anybody we know. And we're just not making that connection right now.
I'll also share that what we have done and that has worked. We've actually went and told our employees, look, we're going to give you a flyer. We just want you to post it over the holidays on Facebook. And we were very surprised that we received several candidates that applied. And we've already hired 28 so far this month. So that actually worked. But then also we tried something a little bit different. We started going into the various community pages. So you have like I live in South Lake. So South Lake has a community page where I posted it. And then you have Shadow Creek. You have like all these different communities that have their own community pages, which spreaded the word out. So I would recommend for someone that's contacting you, tell them to check their community pages, but then also check the chamber's website. Give them the resources so that they do the homework, so it takes it off of your shoulders. Because like Gary said, yeah, opening that can of worms, you're going to have a whole lot going on. It's like you're going to become the recruiting service, and pretty much you want to give them the resource and say, hey, you run with it. And if I think of anything else, I'll give you the resource so that you can run with it.
That's a great idea. That makes more sense. Yeah, I don't want to be a recruiting firm. Can't right now. I don't think Representative Thompson would approve.
Well, and just to throw in, and Brandy and I have been working together with one of my clients and an employee that is an older gentleman, and you've got pockets of these people that are becoming unemployed. They are maybe a more mature age. They are not computer literate. They are barely smartphone literate. They're a hard worker, skilled labor. He's excellent, but so he was, you know, having some difficulty. So I, you know, got Brandy involved to help me get him through to the Workforce Commission to be able to submit his claim for unemployment over the phone. And so we've been working with that. And, you know, so with the pandemic and the overload of all the claims coming into the Workforce Commission, I just want to applaud Brandy and Representative Thompson's office for being willing to help those that can't get through the normal process, because there are ones out there that need that extra assistance to kind of get through the system. And in the meantime, I'm still trying to find, placements for him and what he's doing. So, there are some real challenging cases. And so you do need that hands-on approach. And so with Representative Thompson and Brandy, that's a good link. But like I said, I think that you got your hands full probably doing that and not doing the placement side, but just getting them connected and getting them the unemployment side. I think is just a great help. And I think that will probably keep you busy for a while.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to share?
I can give a little update. We're continuing a lot of what we did in the fall with the COVID screening and things like that. We still have about the same percentage of students on campus. We're doing a lot of remote and online learning. So the classes that used to be face-to-face are now remote. So it's a synchronous online face-to-face similar to this, so they can still get the interaction because, it is hard to have those personal touch points sometimes when you have a completely online program, when a lot of students really need that face-to-face component. So we're doing everything we can. I'm over the legal and health department. So I've got the police academy that was delayed a little bit. We just finished the class this semester. It was supposed to finish last fall. We had a makeover of our gun range, which is great. So we're now rifle prepared. We've done some really neat things with that. We have our clinicals are going on, but we're getting a lot of updates now or things from the hospitals that are saying, okay, we said we could take your students, but now we can't take your students because of COVID going up. So thank God I have very creative and innovative faculty. They've done a great job creating virtual settings and finding alternatives. So they've really reached out to the community for other opportunities that can suffice as a clinical opportunity for the students, because you really can't beat that personal hands-on component. So they've been doing a lot of other things if they can't go out to the hospital, trying to get all the students rotated through to get their hours. I met with the Brazoria County Health Department. We had a meeting yesterday on their vaccination plan. And so they are hoping to get a large amount and are looking at setting up some hubs and want ACC to be one of the hubs. So we're working with them right now to do that. And hopefully our students will be able to get some volunteer opportunities with that as well. So, the struggle is real, as they say. We're still adapting and trying to overcome. We're on a rotation. Administration is where I'm at home right now. It's a 10-day rotation. We're, like I said, we've got our screening protocols, trying to be as diligent as we can. We also had, we have protocols to do contact tracing as well. So if a student comes up positive, we need to hurry up and have a method to contact everybody to stop the spread on campus, as well as keep them from exposing other people, their loved ones and family members at home. So it's been a unique experience, I have to say. One thing, I had our division meeting, and one thing we all explored at the end of it was to try to find, and I'm not going to take credit for this saying because I read it in an article, the unexpected positives of 2020, and so we all kind of reflected back on, all right, we talk about how horrible 2020 was, and oh no, 2020 is now 21, she's drinking age, or whatever, it's going to be crazy. So we're trying, now we want to try to push it more to a positive outlook and to reflect back on things. And I liked how they said unexpected positives, things like you got to spend more time with your family because you might be working remotely. You got to spend more time outside. You learned new technology things that you never would have learned, so to try to put a positive spin on it. So we're trying to push forward into this 2020 with a really a more positive outlook, because positivity, it's contagious, and we want to spread that energy and help our students along. Enrollment's a little bit down, I just looked this morning, I want to say 10 or 11%. But we have extended our late enrollment, and apparently we've got some CARES funding. I don't really know. I see Dr. O shaking his head. He's up in administration higher than me at his school. So I don't know the details on that. Because one of the things is, students they've been given different financial, obstacles right now with unemployment, their spouse has lost their job, whatever. So, it's a hard time right now for them to pay for school and to pay the fees and things like that. So we're happy that we've got hopefully some more funding and might be able to help out these students. So we're trying to extend enrollment a little bit later to help these individuals get into the programs.
Thank you, Stacy.
Sure.
Who would like to go next?
Hey, can I ask?
I can go next.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I was just going to ask a question of the group, both business and, I know some people are really sick of this thing called new normal, but I'd be interested to hear y'all's opinion of, when we do get some kind of normal back, how do you think our experience over the last year is going to change the workplace? I mean, do you think we're going to all of a sudden see more changes toward telecommuting and you think it's going to be 30% we're going to carry forward, 50% of what we've experienced carried forward in the workplace? I'd be interested to hear y'all's comments on that because that will change what we're going to probably talk about in education and embed it on courses.
Just real quick, I know I just talked, I don't want to hog the stage here, but my daughter works for Dell and she's permanently remote. They're never going back to their office in Austin. And so, and they've combined, they've looked at now strategizing positions, and they've actually consolidated some of them, saying, you know what, you work so well from home, you can do this, but now we're going to take this guy's, they had some layoffs. I don't know if I'm supposed to really say all that, but anyhow, they had some layoffs, but then they've also consolidated positions. So people are able to reach out and do more. The whole marketing aspect of going to visit the person and drop off goodies has changed. So, they've got a whole new way, but she's never going back. It's odd. It's kind of a weird reality from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that you may see some more impact with commercial real estate in that fact of, they're reducing their capital expenditure and their overhead. And so if people are working from home and it's working, then they maybe come back saying, hey, we don't need all that space. Let's reduce our footprint in the brick and mortar space and let them work from home.
I think I was surprised the most by people who, we have a lot of faculty who have already asked, hey, when all of this is over, what are our opportunities to continue to teach from home? That they would prefer that rather than coming onto campus, which blows my mind completely because I'm not that kind of person. I like to be around people. I like the interaction. And to have a lot of faculty say, why do I need to be on campus when I can do everything I've been doing exactly the same way and we've been successful? To which we say, well, then why do you need an office? Why do you need, okay, but you may be giving up your space on campus if you don't need to be on campus. So it's going to be an interesting discussion moving forward is, what's critical and who has to be here.
I was going to say from a small business perspective, as we continue to grow, we're trying to look at, hey, we're not going to grow the building. So are some people that can work from home, and then we can bring that new person into the office and work with training them. I don't see us hiring new people, them never working for us in our facility. I could see them starting with our facility and then moving as they got more experience.
Same with us. We've already kind of started our new normal. We consolidated we went from having more brick and mortars in various places to having more regional hubs. Gone are the days where in staffing where it's like, oh, well, where do you have offices at? It's more of what areas can you service? Mm-hmm. So we are just getting involved in the communities that we are servicing. And we've gone to more of a regional hub. We do have a few people that are remote, but because of what we do, we're always going to have some sort of a brick and mortar, I think, because of the services that we offer, which I prefer the brick and mortar. I'm not a big work from home person. I like to create that variance in my day. But I think for us, we've already started to create what's going to be our new norm. And I think a lot of companies are starting that themselves. I'm hearing a lot of companies saying eventually they're going to go back to being in the office. just because of the accountability. Some companies are seeing, it's really based on the person. But I think that virtual is going to be a big part of our future, but I don't think it's going to stay as big as it currently is.
My question in commercial excellence was, where are we better? Not can we do our job, but where are we better? And if we're better in the office, then we need to be in the office. If we're better segregated at home, then okay, I can live with that. When I start to ask that question of people who work in the office, the majority of them will say, I'm capable of doing my job at home, but I'm better when I have access to the other people, if I have to answer the question.
You can't hide virtually anymore. Everybody, not that I hide, but you know what I mean? You can't like go walk down and see somebody. It's like, oh, is there red light on or is there green light on? And then as soon as your light goes off, it's like it's ringing, so the accessibility is incredible to people. I don't really hide. I don't mean that, but we are now, instant, not only just instant gratification for other things in the world, but like instant accessibility, all hours.
Well, and one thing downstream, I'll look at the impact of us from a personality and emotional perspective, if nothing else, is the fact that you've got all these people working virtually, and I think in the world of HR, I saw this already with the new generations coming out of school of being able to have eye contact and direct physical, relationships, because they were always doing something remote. Everything was online or virtual for them. And so now we've created to multiple generations going virtual and multiple generations not having one-on-one contact with people. So what are we creating, downstream effect? What are people going to be like in their communication styles going forward after being, remote and virtual for so long?
I can tell you that, I was hired in August and started at the university on September 1st. 2/3 of our core leadership team, I've still never met in person. So, I'm not sure I'd know them if I fell over them. Because I've never met them in person. And I mean, they're, the ones I work with closely, I have, of course, but 2/3 of them I've never met. Which is weird. I can tell you, it's very weird, because if I have an issue, I don't call them. I call the people I've met to say, hey, how do we navigate this? What do we do about this? Who do I need to follow up with on this? Because I don't have a relationship with these other people yet. And I don't know when that's going to happen. So it's the weirdest onboarding I've ever had.
And I kind of feel the same. Oh, go ahead.
Let me just give you a quick update on terminals so that our Third Coast, so that everybody kind of knows where we're at. Once again, small family owned business on Macala. About 230 employees as of today. We are looking, I would say 75% of our workforce is at the plant. You can't trucks from home. You can't do that virtually. So the things that we have to do, 75% of our staff is there. We are, and just kind of looking at the jobs that we have posted today, a production operator, a millwright, a reactor operator, a plant operation person, a process engineer. Those are all jobs that rely on you being at the plant and doing that work. We continue to grow. Business is good, so we continue to grow. We're never one of those companies that adds 75 people and then next year cuts 50 people, and we don't do that. We just have this steady growth as we can continue to bring on full-time employees. Our business is predominantly outside, so that's been good for us from a COVID standpoint. People working outside, people working. So from a COVID standpoint, it's a great job. From a weather, it's cold in the winter and hot in the summer. This last year in 2020, we did build a new reactor on our facility. It has distillation capabilities, which is another expansion of our services that we offer the current customers. And so 2021 is about going back to those customers and saying, hey, here's another service that we can now provide to you that we did not provide last year. So we are very excited about our growth, very excited about the opportunities that we have. We're going to continue to as we go into 2021.
Okay. Thank you for that update, Paul. And I'll give an update about Merit. We are doing some great things at Merit in 2021. We're very excited that last year we was able to save the company over $5 million to the bottom line. And with that, we had our best month in the month of December, which is normally our slowest month. We had our best month in revenue in December. So the growth came in a matter of 3 weeks because they realized that Merit Pearland, which our headquarters is in Salt Lake City, can streamline processes and get medical devices out the door because we operate very, very lean. So we're doing a lot of different things in building the product. We're leaning more towards automation in building medical devices. Before, it's been a long-standing practice that a lot of automation was not used, but now they're leaning more towards automation, but then not moving that personnel out the door, but moving that personnel up into more leadership roles. Also, something different that we're doing in regards to COVID, our protocol, we've actually have a new system to where when an employee comes in, it forces accountability because you have to scan your badge, then have your temperature taken. But if you clock in or if you move about the building or touch another door by scanning your badge and it shows, the system can alarm us that your temperature was not taken. So trying to get around not having your temperature taken, the system will alarm us that your temperature has not been taken if you didn't scan your badge first. Also, we're doing a lot more education with our employees just to make them feel more comfortable in pivoting during this pandemic. We have more sessions with them one-on-one to answer their questions, to give them resources in regards to where to go get tested, also where to get the vaccine as well. We're creating more of an information center for them so that at any point in time they feel more comfortable in coming to work. Because the great thing about our environment, it's a pretty big clean room to where we have to keep the air circulating at a certain pressure. And we have to do a lot of things in regards to gowning and hygiene. So it's pretty much the safest place to be. And our employees love that. They're like, you know what, I'm coming to work because it's the safest place for me to be. So we've had a lot of people just, tell their friends, like, you really want to come work in there because it's safe. And we have not had anyone to catch it at work. It's all been from outside of the four walls. So we're really happy about that. We're happy about where we're going right now. We're planning a lot of activities for the employees to where we can still celebrate them and their efforts, but we're getting creative. So we're coming up with a party for them called Safety Bowl. Not Super Bowl, but it's going to be around Super Bowl, but it's called the Safety Bowl because we're going to reach our 1,000th day where we've not had any accidents or injuries where there was lost time on the clock. So really happy about that, and they're getting excited about that. I said, look, you can wear your favorite team. Other than that, any fans of that other city in the state of Texas, don't wear that to work. But yeah, you can wear any other team, but don't wear that team to work. So we're getting them excited, and they're happy to come to work, and they keep their minds off the pandemic and more so on every day when we come to work, we are impacting the world with our devices. So that's a little update from Merit. Is there anyone else? Did we miss anyone that wanted to share?
And I have one question for Gary. I know that this is definitely not my forte on all the PPP loan and the money and the requirements, but I mean, I heard through the media that some of the rules of the forgiveness or of getting the loan are lessened. And then the other question is is there idle money that's still out there too that businesses can take advantage of, or is that all gone?
I actually just got an email. I've got a million emails, but I've got an email from a client that had not spent all her idle money, that is filling out a PPP loan, and it specifically asked, for that information. So what I'm going to say is there is still guidance forthcoming. When Congress says we're going to do a brand new CARES Act or a new round of PPP, they say here's X number of billions of dollars or trillions of dollars. Here, SBA, you fix it, you do it. Well, I mean, in 10 days, they haven't worked out the rules. They don't know what the rules are. So to answer your question, the rules are being made as we speak this morning, and there are all of these what ifs, all of these different clarifications that are coming out that really have to be identified when they come available. So it's a nightmare. It's a cluster. The banks now are they're not demanding, but they're only taking new PPP clients that will transfer money into their banks. And without naming any bankers, I've had conversations with, very spirited conversations with them, by the way, that people come there, they set up an account, they put $100 in it, they get their PPP loan, and then they close the account. Well, guess what? Second round is here, and they're going to remember that. So a lot of these people have already sort of,
burned some bridges.
They did burn some bridges. And you know what? It's not just about getting your money and running, because the community banks are really provide a service. Wells, BOA, and Chase, not to name anybody specifically, they don't want to mess with the small businesses, and they'll tell you that. They'll say, go to the small community banks and get those guys to help you, which they do. But after last round of PPP, all the bankers spent 2, 3, 4 hours with all these clients, and it cost them a lot of money. Yes, they get a cut. The banks actually get a small cut of the PPP loans that they generate. Frost Bank did over 14,000 PPP loans first go round, and I want to say totaling about $80 million. And that's a lot of manpower and time that they spent doing that. And guess what? The bankers, the stockholders still are coming down on those banks saying, hey, you're not meeting your objectives right now. And amongst all this other stuff, they're not meeting their objectives. So it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare for them, and for those small businesses that are trying to keep afloat, trying to get anything they can to prolong, hopefully not the inevitable, but prolong their existence.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I had mentioned on another chamber meeting, is the fact that one of the things that doesn't get publicized is the fact that with January 1st, once that hit, that the mandatory paid leave requirement went away. So for those employers less than the 500 that were required to provide paid leave for COVID-related reasons, that mandate went away. And a lot of companies didn't even realize that, because that's not being publicized. And so, yeah, they can still get the tax credit for the first quarter, but there again, and so it's kind of like which come first, the chicken or the egg. So you've got an employee that needs to go out. Do you voluntarily go ahead and pay them and take the tax credit and hope that the rules don't change and getting the tax credit approved for to use against your payroll taxes? So, it's some confusing times still for businesses. And so hopefully that people that voluntarily pay their employees for the time off that's COVID related, hopefully they're getting the message of, yeah, there is PPP money out there. So from a cash flow perspective, it could get them some money to time through, at least for some of those smaller businesses that want to do right with their employees, but just maybe having a cash flow issue.
Is there anyone else that had any questions or that wanted to share? Okay. All right. So our next meeting is going to be February 17th via Zoom or hybrid. I would like to propose, or actually put out, a chamber challenge. This challenge is going to be I want you to go out and find someone that you have not seen in this meeting in a while. And the individual that comes back with the most people saying, you know what, Stacy invited me to come back, or Kevin invited me to come back, will get a prize personally from me. So this is our chamber challenge. I want each one of you to go and grab someone that you have not seen in the meeting, contact them and say, hey, we need you to come back. And then we're going to find out who had the most person to bring individuals back to the meeting. I know I'm going to channel all the lower Kirby businesses to come back to the meeting. And whoever has the most invites of people to come back, you will receive a prize personally from me. So that's my challenge to you, okay?
Okay, that sounds like fun. What I'll do is I will send the list of the Workforce Development Committee to you, just this group right here. So you can, it'll be fair.
Okay, okay. All right. So also we have some dates to remember. We have Toastmasters every Monday, 12 to 1 p.m. via Zoom. If you're interested in picking up your presentation skills and want to jazz up your presentation skills, I do recommend Toastmasters. We have the Pearland Rotary Zoom meetings every Thursday, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Our January Dine Out Pearland is the bar at Friends Uncorked. That is located at 111 South Friendswood Drive. So make sure you go patronize that business. Our February Dine Out Pearland is Chicken Salad Chick. That's located at 2110 Pearland Parkway, number 108 in Pearland, Texas. We also want to patronize that business as well. We have our January, February committee Zoom meetings. The annual banquet and meeting will be Thursday, January 28th at the Knights of Columbus Hall. So if you're interested in participating in that, make sure you get your tickets. Several of us on this call will be there. It's going to be a great time, so we're really excited about that. And then we have our First Fridays, which will be February 5th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Coppinger YMCA Pavilion. Did we miss any reminders or dates?
I just want to report to you that the banquet is next Thursday, and it is at the Knights of Columbus, and it will be in person. And if anything tragic happens that we have to cancel it, it will be canceled because we can't pivot to a technical virtual event due to their technology. And then the mayor's state of the city is February 18th. I believe that's right. And it's at First Church. And it is also being planned to be in person. However, we can change it to a virtual event at the last minute because they do have technology that we can use and make it available to us if we need to.
Okay.
That's all about those
Thank
two.
you so much.
And just to say, to tag on to that, at both of these events, safety protocols will be in place. There'll be mask wearing, and if you're not sitting next to someone that that you feel you want to wear a mask, that is totally, okay. And we suggest that if that's why you feel safest. And then there'll be the hand sanitizing station, temperature checks. I believe Carol said we'll still do temperature checks coming in also.
Okay.
All the safety things will be continuing.
Yep.
Do we have anyone on the call their birthday is in the month of January? No January birthdays? Okay. Any January anniversaries? Okay. No January anniversaries? Okay. All right. Perfect. Is there any other questions before we adjourn? Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn our meeting for January?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right. Thank you so very much for the motion and second. This meeting is officially adjourned at 9:38 a.m. Please stay safe. Please stay driven and welcome to 2021. Have a good day.
Thank you, Siobhan. You did great today.
Yeah,
Welcome
you
aboard.
Thank you.
Did
Thank
well.
you.
Good job.
See y'all later.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.